It's 2025 and you still have a male audience? Girl. Sydney, baby, are you trying to be irrelevant by 2035? Because if you continue to purposely feed into your young male audience, one day when your image no longer reaches their very shallow misogynistic standards, they are going to drop you. And you're probably gonna be confused because you can remember a time when you were on top of the world. And fast forward a couple years, now producers and directors are ignoring your calls. And listen, this isn't a hate video. I don't hate Sydney Sweeney. In fact, I don't care about any celebrity enough to actually hate them. But her team, I'm starting to think that her team hates her. I mean, did we learn nothing at all from Pamela Anderson? Look, I remember when Sydney was saying that she was struggling to pay her mortgage and that Hollywood doesn't pay actors like it used to anymore. And maybe that's what's pushed her into this very weird era that she's currently in. She says she's gonna have enough money to pay that mortgage, girl, and then some. If you're watching this video, there's a good chance you've seen that photo of Sydney Sweeney's white sheer dress that she wore for the Variety's Power of Women events. I'm not even going to show the whole thing because, girl, there was a lot to see. And please do not interpret that as me feeling offended or annoyed or just being a weirdo when women decide to show some skin. From micro skirts to sheer tops, cutout pants, denim overalls. Wear it all. As long as you're not heading to a playground or a school or anywhere specifically for kids. The issue isn't the outfit, it's the people around her. Her manager, her publicist, her agent, her stylist. When I saw that photo, my heart genuinely sank because it told me one thing. The people who work for Sydney are either very, very short sighted or they don't care about her. They see her as a cash cow. Because right now, Sydney's being boxed into Hollywood's oldest trap, the sex symbol actors label. Don't get me wrong, being a sex symbol for the male gaze pays. The bag you make is heavy. You're gonna make a lot of money, but for a short time. Once your image stops serving the male gaze, Hollywood forgets your number. Being a sex symbol for the male gaze, whether you're an influencer, actress, artist, it is one of the quickest ways to become a has been. Have we not learned anything from Pamela Anderson? Yes, the leaked sex tape absolutely derailed Pamela's career. But even without that, her sex symbol image had an expiration date. In a patriarchy, being a male fantasy has a shelf life. Once you're not 20 something and shiny anymore, the audience moves on fast. If not for that Netflix documentary, which allowed her to rebrand, which thank God that came out months after that very distasteful TV show about her, Pamela had to literally reclaim her narrative at 56 just to be treated like a human being again. Without that documentary, and her book, I guess. But let's be honest, most of us don't read as many books as we watch documentaries. Without that documentary, which allowed her to tell her story in her own words and rebrand at 56, nobody would have been checking for Pamela. In her 50s, the only people who care about Pamela now are women and queer men that don't hate women. Because, yeah, we got some queer men that still be hating on women.
Fact.
And guess what? Her previously dedicated male audience, now, whenever they see a viral picture of her out and about wearing no makeup, which is a thing she's doing now, a lot of those men are like, oh my god, get it away from me. Why does she even still exist? Why can't she just crawl back under the rock she was under before? Pamela Anderson is a walking, breathing anomaly. In a patriarchy, sex symbols aren't supposed to still be relevant when they're almost 60. They're not even supposed to be relevant when they're almost 40, which is why most men get annoyed when they see her still in the spotlight at 58 years old, barefaced without a dimmadome dam to give. A sex symbol for women exists to be celebrated. A sex symbol for men exist to be consumed. They serve as 2 a.m. resource material. They're supposed to be used up by the industry when they're young and perky and keel over and die when they're post they're no longer seen as a sexual being expiration dates. And I'm sorry, but in the year 2025, on Beyonce's internet, having a predominantly male audience, that's basically career suicide. Don't believe me? Tell me where most of the male gaze actresses of the 90s and early 2000s are. Hell, tell me where all the video vixens from the 90s are. The floor is yours. Are they relevant? Are they financially stable? No. We live in a capitalist world, okay? If you want to sell sex, but at least be strategic about it. Jesus. Look at women like Beyonce, Megan the Stallion, Sabrina Carpenter. Yes, I'm aware that none of those women are actresses, but they're all sex symbols in their own rights. They're not catering to men. Their appeal is powered by women and the queer community, audiences that actually let women age. Sabrina Carpenter very much sells sex. She definitely is a sex symbol. However, she's a sex symbol for women. Her audience is mostly women and queer men, and I don't want to sound like a cold hearted, calculating capitalist, but that's where you want to be, girl. That's the audience you want to appeal to if you want to stay in the game long term and not be filing for bankruptcy by the year 2040. A predominantly women audience is going to stick by your side. I mean, look at Taylor Swift. I mean, the Swifties haven't really been rocking with her the last couple of weeks, but she has had them in the palm of her hands since 2006. Taylor B. Swift, the B stands for billionaire. Having a predominantly male audience when you're a young woman is a very, very risky move because you will make some serious coin. But when you age out of their fantasies, they'll drop you like a hot potato and move on to the next bright eyed, perky 20 something year old. And this is why I say Sydney Sweeney's team is either very, very short sighted or they just don't like her. They just see her as a cash cow and a quick buck. Because if Sydney continues on this trajectory, the minute she hits 40, if she even still has a male audience at that age, it's over. Because in the patriarchy, every woman with a predominantly male audience has an expiration date. And when that day comes, those same men will run to replace her with the next perky young thing. And do you know what they're gonna say when they see her replacement? They're gonna say, wow, she kind of reminds me of a young Sydney Sweeney before she got washed up. Because the real power move isn't being a man's fantasy, it's being a woman's favorite.